Here we go. Time to get out of here. So I got a 2-hour drive. Eee. Keep them going. Wonder how well the signal will hold up. Silly little cameras. Gotta wait. Yo, what up, Kitsu? Alright. Got energy drink. 2-hour drive. Wish we could listen to music. But YouTube would just get all over it. They'd be like, you got like 20 million copyright claims. I'd have to delete the whole stream. I don't know if YouTube just stops you in the middle with the music going or not. Maybe like not able to be seen in 285 countries. That's how it'd be. Do you sing with it? I don't even know. They're so strict. YouTube's so strict. I wish I got one of those big things that was like, pick up passenger driving to Portland. It's a long way to the top. Yo, what up, Evan? Where's road tripping? Where's going to the to Portland? See how well it goes. Hour and 58 minutes. Oh, look at you, Snap. Sitting at home on your fat fucking ass, fat shaming people. Your life is real big. You got it good. Hell yeah, I get some Burger King. Yeah, I know. It feels like some pot calling the kettle, right? Just sitting at home saying I'm a piece of shit. Let me go show the world. Where are we going? We're going to Portland, yo. Portland. Portland, that's where all the parties are at, apparently. That's where we're all going. So we have a seminar we're going to down there. That's where we party at. That's where we be. It is dead tonight. Dead. The fentanyl. They blocked all those things. Remember they were legalizing all that shit? They legalized all the drugs down there. They're like, that's going to do everything. And then yeah, they thought that was going to be a thing. They legalized everything, and then they stopped. Seattle followed suit. They thought it'd be a good idea. So now they opened a thing called like the soda and the soap. Now it's like the South something drug thing, and then there's a prostitution one too, where like they aren't enforcing it or some shit like that. I'm trying to say, I think that's what it is. Yeah, you would think that would be the way, right? Like they just legalize it and it would kind of like people just overdose or whatever. But like, have you guys ever been to Philadelphia? Because remember, last year we flew to Philadelphia, we're just eating Phillies, and they have that one park. There's that one park where it's like legal to do drugs and shoot up and all that stuff. And I don't know what drug it is, but remember we were driving down there and I was showing you guys the area where people were just paused. It's like all of a sudden their life is just like paused, like bent over. They're just like that whole area underneath the train tracks or whatever. They have like that Sky Train or some shit in Philadelphia, and it was really bad. I think it's the fentanyl that does that. But I don't know why they're like that. Like, somebody thought that would be a good idea. Let's just legalize all this stuff. Yeah, that's really bad here in Seattle at like 3rd and Pike or 3rd and Pine. It's just, I mean, people are just like stopped in the middle of the street. Like they're paused. Like somebody was just like the movie Click with like Adam Sandler. And there's just straight paused. And I don't know what it is. Like, and it was so humid in Philadelphia. I'm like, these people are just pouring out the sweat. They ain't got nothing, you know, and, you know, I'm surprised they ain't die. You know, that's crazy. You just missed the mukbang, bro. We were just at the Vietnamese mukbang. We were eating the pho. We had the brisket and meatball. Yeah, like, they're just like pause. It's like, you know, the whole world is just put them on pause. But a lot of them, I guess, something like that, it causes some kind of thing in the back that causes them to bend over. So if they've been doing it for a while, you'll see their super posture like super bent over, like almost 90 degrees bent. I don't know. You know, and it's hard. Like, I'm sure it's stuff's super addictive. Like they said the one time, or maybe it was like mixed in with something. Because it could be mixed in. You know, or laced. I think the word's laced. I don't know. I've never done drugs, so I don't know what the exact terminology is nowadays. But, you know, I mean, is fentanyl a shot or is it a pill? Are they smoking it? Like, how are they doing this stuff? Is it a liquid? Oh, they're just doing it all? Fuck. All the above? Shit. That's crazy, man. They're just getting it every which way. It's, you know, you almost want to be like, look, you know, it's their fault they're, you know, drugs or whatever. But, you know, at the same time, I mean, just looking and seeing, like, the action that it's having on them, or the reaction, or whatever, you know, what it's caused them to do. You know, you just feel bad. You're just like, look, man, that's what your life has come to. Like, you're paying to just be frozen on a fucking sidewalk, bent over, and that's your idea of a good time. Like, how long does that shit last for? You know? Like, how long are they high for? Is that hours thing? Is it like, did I only see them there for like a 5-minute pause, but they weren't paused and it wasn't 5 minutes? You know, like, what's the fucking answer on that? Like, how long is that? Is that an all fucking day thing? Like, that's what they pick. You know, it's like those other drugs. What's the one that they pick? Is that crack? It's like 4 hours. Like, what's the one where they pick at the skin? They pick at the bugs and the scabs. Is that meth? Like, I don't just get why they pick at their skin. Big ass sores and stuff. I don't know. I wish there was some kind of help for it. I just feel bad seeing it. You know, you almost wish there was something you could just like say or like snap your fingers and be like, hey, you know, stop being stupid. You're making a fucking poor decision in your life. I know they all have their stereotypes. Is that the meth? Which one's the one where they rip apart the fucking electrons all the same? For fentanyl? Because remember, like, what was it, a year ago, 2 years ago? Those people in Florida, they were on the bath salts. And they were eating people's faces. Like, whatever that salts was, it was turning them into zombies. Like, they were just eating on people. Or trying to. That one girl was chewing on the face of somebody. These drugs are not good. I mean, a lot of times they get on these drugs, and then like whatever mental capacity they had, or like ration or ability to communicate, it's all gone. That drug just destroys it. So even if you tried to have a conversation with them about telling them, hey, you know, you can help them, they're probably already too gone to fully understand. Cartels. Well, there was that, Robert, did you hear about that guy? I think he was called the Creator? No, he was called the Inventor? Some Europe guy. He does music now, but he was the inventor of the designer over-the-counter drugs, like the synthetic acid and stuff like that they do now. For all these different synthetic or stimulant drugs. He had just started that at one point, and then other people had started to catch on and started doing it, make it more and more potent. Like, it was supposed to have the same euphoric feel, but not the addiction. You know what I'm talking about? I was watching a documentary on it on the History Channel or something. He might have been Dutch, or he was European for sure. They make them safer, and then they went to unsafe things. No, not to kratom. No, this was, he was making like some party drug, like PCP or LSD or something like that, or ecstasy, but the chemical was changed. Can't remember. I bet you Kitsu could find out. I think the person that made it is called the Creator. nickname. Like the creator, designer drug or something like that. I can't remember. But they were talking about how they're always like one step ahead of the DEA now, because now I guess the way the DEA does it is if it synthesizes an already banned substance and it becomes illegal. Maybe that's what it was. But yeah, so then they make a different chemical that gives the same feel, and that lasts for a while. So then when the FDA or something finally catches up, they swap it out. I don't even know what Kratom is. Like, I've never done drugs really, but like I see places that sell that stuff. Like, it says Kratom. We sell Kratom. We are traveling, Cosmos. We're going to Portland. We're an hour and 46 away. We're talking about designer drugs right now. And, you know, fentanyl, we're talking about that. But right now we're just talking about Kratom. Because I see places that are selling Kratom and that. Is that like, what is that similar to? It's like a legal version of something? Like, is that along the weed line? Is it supposed to simulate like THC or something? I don't know. What are you up to, Cosmos? You missed it. We had the pho already. Man. It's a leaf? So is it its own thing? Is it not like fake weed or something? I mean, I see it for sale, but I don't even know how they do it. I don't know if it's a pill or if it's, you know, something like that from Southeast Asia. Huh. Oh, so it like flips? I wonder why that's not illegal then. Oh, you know what? I heard about that. Is that what that was? I heard there was a whole culture or whatever that has these leaves that are just jammed in their fucking lips, and they just fucking pack more and more and more, and they just have the whole time. That's just how they function and thing. I had seen that on Discovery Channel or something like that. Oh, is that what it is? You know, since I've never done drugs, I don't really understand too much about them. I'm sure, like, you know, the feeling and stuff like that, but, you know, like, I don't really have, like, addiction. Like, I need to do something. You know? Unless it's addicted to taking a poop. Because I'll go take a poop. But no, like, I just, you know, I don't have anything that I'm like, oh, I need to do this or I need to do that. And I'm sure it's probably a hard thing. I mean, addiction is really hard. A lot of people have a hard time breaking it. But, like, just something like that, like, you do it one time, it's like you always need it. You know, and then I wonder sometimes, like, everybody knows like some of these drugs are bad, like, so who sits around and goes, okay, so you're getting older, you're gonna try some alcohol, right? 21, you're gonna turn 21, you'll go drinking or whatever. I'm going to go out drinking. But who's sitting around and goes, you know what? I'm gonna try some meth. I'm gonna try some meth. I'm gonna smoke some crack. It's like, it just doesn't seem to make sense. Like, especially those two drugs. It just seems hard. I just hate seeing people with addictions like that. Yeah, but at some point they said, you know what? Yeah, let me hand me that crack pipe. I mean, we'll never understand somebody else's thoughts, right? Yo, what up, Barbara? We're just talking about crack. We're just talking about drugs. Addiction. We were talking about kratom. And then, like, some other drugs. Like, understanding how, like, people come to these things. Like, I'm going to try some crack. Who was that guy? Kitsu, can you look that up? Who was that guy? He was a big streamer. I think he was a big YouTube streamer. And he says, I'm going to get myself addicted to crack. And he fucking did. You know what I'm saying? Vanilla Coke. Well, I know it never starts like that, but at some point, they get it. Robert. Like, I'm not, I'm kind of like, embellishing or whatever, exaggerating for effect, but it's like, what's going on in their life that they're like, what? Let me just go ahead and try this. Let me try that. I mean, like, I'm just like trying to break it down simple, right? Man, it might be Dre Bay. Is that the one? Like, he was a big YouTube streamer. Oh, my friend's on. Hey, I'm live. What's up? You gonna come on the YouTube?
Oh, are you on YouTube Live?
Yeah, I'm on YouTube.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna come on.
All right, love you. Bye. All right. Was it Dre Bay? It might be. But yeah, like, he took over like a whole year. Like, he said, I'm just gonna start, and then just became super. Did you ever get off of it or no? People in the car. They're on amphetamines. Yeah, it's like what on the. Is it like the ADHD stuff? The way the body works is different too. Like, people that have that. That too, Benjamin, right? Hey, bun. That too. I mean, it gets to that point. That point's graduate, because, I mean, when you're doing the drugs, all of a sudden you end there, but yeah. Well, man. Here's how. Maybe I have more control of my emotions. Maybe I don't have emotions. I mean, I understand things in that, but sometimes, some things aren't worth, crying over, I feel. But some people, I view death differently. Some people, like if a mother dies or a father dies, they're just fucking emotionally devastated for fucking years. I mean, they almost just can't function, and then every year that the death time comes around, they're all depressed for the whole week, and then like their birthday comes around and then they're depressed for the whole week. And it's like, I just view death a little bit different, what I'm saying? Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Benjamin. Like my mom got diagnosed with a stage 4 glioblastoma, and she started having these seizures, and that's when they found out. And that's like the fastest growing. Like, it doesn't progress in stages. It doesn't go stage 1, 2, 3, 4. Like, it just pops at any stage. It's just stage 4. So they scooped it out of her brain. She had brain surgery, and she lost a lot of like word recognition, and there was a lot of defects that came from that. And she wasn't, my mom would forget about things, and it was my mom there, but it really wasn't my mom. Her capacity was not there at all. So it was just a shell of who she was, and then my mom was on hospice and died. She died, and I viewed, my sister was really hurt and my brother were really hurt, and I was sad. But my mom always wanted the best for me, and she always wanted me to be happy. So I don't feel that my mom would have wanted me to be sad, and every time I think about her, to get sad. So I think of my mom as, who she was. I don't think of my mom as death. I don't think of my mom, with the cancer. I didn't even pay attention what date my mom died. It's my mom, that's it. She wouldn't want me to be bad. She wants me to be successful and happy. And when I think about my mom, I should be happy. That's it. I don't feel that like they're like, when you think about me, you better be fucking sad or you better cry. No, I don't think that. I think generally they would want the best for you and for you to be happy. They were with you and they would want to be a happy memory, I would think. But some people can't function like that. They really get down in there. And I tell people, I was like, don't look in the past. I was like, look forward, look into the light, because when you look behind you, there's a shadow behind you when you're walking to the light. So no matter how far back you look, it just gets darker, and you start feeling worse, and you look back further and you get worse and worse, man. I have no natural living parents. I mean, blood-wise, I have no dad, no mom. I have a half brother and a half sister. That's it. That's my whole family. I have a stepdad called my dad. He's my dad. I mean, he is my dad. He's been my dad since I was 3. He's never treated me any different or anything like that. The best man in the world. But blood-wise, I don't have any. My mom was with my dad, or my stepdad, and, she died. Never know. That's a big thing too. So, sometimes I'll do Uber driving, right? And I'll pick people up and I'll do like the driving for passenger rides and that. And I picked up this lady. She was married. They both went to a wedding reception, and then when they were driving home, her husband was driving and got pulled over. Well, he was drunk. Well, they were both kind of drunk, but he was drunk. So they took him to jail, and they wouldn't let her move the car from where it was parked right to the parking spot. It was in a parking lot, but he pulled over not in a parking stall, but right in the middle of a parking lot. And she called me for an Uber to pick her up. get towed right there. So she had asked the cop, and he's like, yeah, if he drives it, you can park it right there. And then, so they canceled the tow truck to come and impound it, her car. But it's so criminal, like racketeering or something, that, the cop's going to call the impound, the tow truck, right? They're going to come, they're going to charge you like $300 or $400 just to hook that car up. So it's the being there, like $100 a day or some shit, right? Note, if you're up and they told you the same amount of distance, it'd be like 25% of the price. You know what I'm talking about? That's what I'm saying. Like, if you'd have called and said, hey, my car broke down in this Walmart, can you tow me to this tow yard or tow me to this place or whatever, you might as well impound your own fucking car, right? At that point, and it'd be cheaper. So she gets somebody at the house to go pick up the car for her or whatever. But I was like, man, I saved you so much. I was kind of sad about that, but it's whatever. I saved the money. Right? Oh yeah, fuck. Has anybody ever had their wages garnished? They don't fuck around. They do not take like 10% of your check and work towards paying it off. Those motherfuckers take like 60, 75% of your check. They're like, bam. Like, right, no, they hit that shit hard. Yeah, I had a friend that got his garnished. Well, I mean, just the garnishment's fucking harsh. Like you're paying that shit back fast. You know. For some medical, but yeah. The 5 hour, it could be anything. It could be a fucking broken arm. Benjamin, the ER just charged you a ridiculous amount. He could have went there for a fucking cut finger, got like 3 stitches. Been even more than that. That's like an ambulance ride. Fuck, you ever see those ambulance rides? What kind of fucking taxi cab is that motherfucker getting to the airport? Or to the hospital from your house? Shit, I'd call a fucking Uber. It's ridiculous. They be charging you for everything too. Like that paper sheet that they have that's down on the table or the bed before you even get on it. They're like, man. $800 ride? That's what I'm saying for an ambulance. Shit, I'm hoping a fucking ghetto ambulance, that's for sure. Well, that ain't gonna do you no fucking good, Ben. Just because you go in there and fucking hug them, they ain't the ones writing it's not like a restaurant, like the waitress is writing your fucking tab. That's a hospital, that's out of their hands. That's out of their hands. They ain't gonna get you no discount. Man. Oh, he sure will? What's that going to do? They ain't going to give you... What are they going to do? They're going to be like, oh, Ben came in, gave me a hug, 25% off coupon. What'd you get done? There ain't no way you took your ass to the hospital, gave the nurse a fucking hug, and got your shit for free. What'd she do? Bro, you better not come out with something like, I got a fucking MRI. Expensive ass shit. Yeah, but it's not, like, they aren't... See, the thing is, a nurse is definitely not in control of billing. I could see if it was. I mean, maybe she came over and fucking gave you some, like, you know, a Band-Aid or some shit at your own place. Not in the hospital, but inside the hospital. That shit's all regulated, and they don't even deal with the billing. You know, any tests or anything else is all their thing. Yeah. They're getting kickbacks too. They're like, hey man, we got this new thing. It works out for this and this. You know, can you try and you'll get this, you know, or whatever. And then they overprescribe it in that. But somebody's always got their hands in some other person's pocket, you know, and that's it. So much like, what is it? Quid pro quo? This for that? What, at your house? I mean, close, Ben, but she's doing it in the hospital. She's not doing it for free. I mean, if you put her through and she's at home, you know, doing, you know, mommy doctor or home doctor, that's on herself. Yeah, there's no way that shit works. She's at a hospital. I was born at night, but it wasn't fucking last night. That's for damn sure. And I lived in the country with free medical. I lived in Canada with free medical. And that's another thing too, is like medical as well. Like everybody sees like the point, they're like, oh, it's free medical. Oh, there'll be no bill, it's free and that. But, you know, just because it's free doesn't mean it's going to be good at all. And then the line is so long. You know what I'm saying? The line's so long. Like my friend, she's in the UK. They got free healthcare and that, but you got to get on the phone and try to get an appointment at like 7 o'clock in the morning. Once all the positions are full, or all the spots for the day are full, then they stop taking appointments. You got to try again the next day. If you have a sore knee and you feel you have pneumonia or you're sick, you don't get to go in for all at once. You have to pick one or the other. You're either going in for your knee or you're going in for bronchitis, you know? And that's it. And the next day you'd have to make another appointment if possible. And then if they feel like, so one of the things that they have is a mass. They have a mass in their uterus. And it's not serious enough for them to do surgery at this time. They deem it's not worth it, so they make her wait, and it's gotten even bigger and causes more problems. And then they go in, and then, you know, it's like that. So they just don't deem the getting it done early and taken care of at a smaller stage is worth it. And then another one, like in Canada, you have to get referred to, and if they feel like the survival rate isn't going to be isn't high enough, then they just won't do it. You know, versus what you have left in life or something like that. You know? So then the government makes the decision because it's their free money, but supposedly. I don't know. Like I said, the line's just really long, essentially. You know what I'm saying? I don't try to judge anybody, really. I do feel like, you know, like that nursing thing, I don't think that's, I mean, just because you go in there and give them hugs, they're not going to slip you the deal. And even then, they're working for a company, and, you know, it's not worth their job, you know, and they're going to document everything they put down. All that stuff goes in charts, and then there's medical billing that goes, this test was done, that test was done, and here's the bill. So it's like above them. Like the nurses aren't throwing out the bills unless they were just chilling at home, right? And then doing there something like that. Yeah, you pay the copay. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I have full insurance too. I work, you know, I got a federal job, so I got, you know, pretty good insurance, but it still costs. I wanted to nurse, but like I said, if your girl was a nurse, you know, she can take care of stuff at home or whatever for the most part. Yeah, but I mean, like I said, if she's doing it in the hospital, you're not walking in the hospital and getting the stuff for free, because whatever room they put you in, they have to redo the room and everything else, and all that costs. I mean, that's all in the billing, the breakdown. All the way down that little fucking paper, butcher sheet of paper that they put down on top of the bed, you know, for you to sit on. Again, it's still documented on there. So if any pharmacy comes through or anything, you know, it's all this stuff is tracked. It's all tracked. Somebody's gonna have something tracked on there, and then, like I said, the hospital's gonna bill it. The homeless people know about houses? Well, I mean, at some point they could. You can know about something but not afford it. Like, there's people out there that are good, you know, have good mechanical minds and can problem solve, but they may not be able to afford something like that. So being homeless doesn't, I mean, that analogy really doesn't work together. Yeah, one doesn't equal the other. I mean, knowing and having the ability to do something are two different things. know I was homeless, just so you know. You know that, right? A lot of people don't know. I mean, you guys are on YouTube, so you guys haven't heard my story on there. But, yeah, I was homeless in Spokane for over a year. Holding signs, sleeping in tennis courts, you know, under bridges, just anywhere and everywhere, you know. I had a sleeping bag with some clothes in it and 2 neckties tied around each side to make like a sling for the thing. Yeah, I was homeless outside. You know, it's a big you know, success story. I mean, I was working for a car dealership, and one of my uncles used to polish aluminum on like semis and stuff like that. And I knew how much money he made, and he's like, "You want to just come work for me?" I was like, "Sure." So I was doing that. My uncle was an alcoholic, and we went out and did a couple big jobs, and you know, had money in that. But you know, he would just drink, and I was like, "Nah, I don't want to do that. I need to, you know, something constant, making money all the time." So I went into Spokane because I was selling cars before in Seattle. So I applied over there, and they did like fingerprinting and background check and stuff like that. And it came back, well, I mean, this is way back. Cell phones weren't really that big. So they called the house phone, and I was out somewhere, and my uncle answered it. And he was drunk, and he told him that I could go ahead and start working, that my background was approved and everything. And that really pissed him off, and he kicked me out of the house. And I had switched pride to call any family or like my parents and say, "Hey, you know, this happens." And that's, so I just, you know, took my stuff. He kicked me out, and I just, you know, went and, you know, I had my sleeping bag already, you know, and I was like, okay, so, you know, I was homeless. You know, I figured I'd hold some signs, do what I can, and for a year, I just had, you know, too much pride. I wouldn't ask. And then, you know, whilst doing that, you know, I met some people, and this girl, her stepdad was a veteran. She heard I was a veteran, you know, and they needed somebody for like live-in home or companionship. So, you know, he was on hospice, so they know how long it would be. So they bought me a bus ticket, and I drove to Bremerton, and, you know, just heard his military stories and just shared mine, and, you know, was just there and, you know, watched TV and stuff like that, and just, you know, just be, you know, that friend or whatever. So I wasn't homeless anymore, and I was staying there, and then I started working and coming up. So, you know, going from being homeless and holding a sign and everything else, and, you know, struggling for food and everything, to, you know, I have 43,000 TikTok followers, you know, on multiple different platforms. You know, I have people subscribing to me, you know, and stuff like that. I mean, that's a huge success story, you know, and like, if you go to like YOLOSWAGGY.com and you hit my TikTok on there, you know, we're on there feeding the homeless. I did a thing on Facebook. It was called Operation Cheeseburger. Every Saturday, we'd go out and buy 100 cheeseburgers, 50 cheeseburgers, something like that, and go out and just give it to homeless people. And we would never film it. It would just be like this, right? And I'd be like, you know, we pull up to all the homeless people and be like, you know, "Hey, you guys hungry? Yeah, come on over. I got these cheeseburgers." You know, just give one. You know, "Here you go. Thank you." And I thank everyone that took one. You know, one cheeseburger per person, you know, and just something like that, you know, a small little warm thing of whatever, you know, that could change how people feel. You know, you never know what, you know, somebody's mental state is, you know, how they can be close to like suicide or something like that or whatever, and it just changed their whole thing. And you can just hear, like, you hear their voice, "Oh, thank you so much. Oh my gosh, you're," you know, and so we used to do that. So, yeah, I tell people a lot too. I'm not really religious, Ben, at all. Definitely not. But, you know, there is some good stories in religion that inspire a lot of people. And one of my favorite stories to tell people, is the story of Job. So Job had everything, right? Job was blessed with everything, and he believed in God so much, and the devil said, or Satan or whatever says, you know what? He only believes in you and praises you because you bless him so much. You give him everything. He's like, let me take stuff away from him and you'll see that he'll turn. He'll be a different man, and then he killed like all his crops and his cattle and his family. And each time any of that stuff happened, he just grew stronger in his beliefs in it. And just grew stronger and stronger, we don't always know what the plan is in life, but, like I said, it's like a rubber band, it goes down, then it comes back up. A setback is a setup for a comeback. You don't know how hard the setback is going to be or what the lesson's going to be, but, people have a hard time. I try to tell them that one. I was like, it just gets hard, and then, he's got to stick through it. You don't know what the plan is. I mean, that almost works, Ben. But then you also got to think, just because you teach somebody how to do stuff, do they have the means to? That goes back to the homeless and knowing about housing. They can know about housing. They don't have the means to buy housing or do housing or anything or even have a house. But it doesn't change that. So, the fact that you can teach them how to fish, if they don't have the means to do it, they're gonna starve. It makes sense in a way, but, realistically in life, that's not how everything works. That's the same reason, like, a lot of those things, was it like socialism, right? Socialism looks amazing on paperwork. When it's written on paper, everybody's the same. Man, it looks so good, right? You're like, this is perfect. Everybody's the same. How could anybody complain, right? But then the problem comes in is you bring in humanity. People are going to be lazy. They're not going to do their share. They're not going to do whatever, but they're going to take advantage. And that's where it all falls apart and why it'll always fall apart. Yeah, that's another thing too, Benjamin, is exactly. I've said that a lot too. Once you get on the system, it's hard to get off, and you see it a lot too. I've seen people that, they may get Social Security for their kid or something, right? So if they make so much money, they'll get X amount of social insurance or Social Security or whatever for their kid that has a disability of some sort, right? But if they work harder, maybe get some overtime, or they work like 40 hours instead of like 32 or something, then they take that money off the Social Security, gets cut because they made more at the other end. And like, I don't know exactly the amount, Benjamin, but I feel like it wouldn't be I feel it would be an even ratio, but like, we'll just use simple numbers, right? So say you make $100 more on a check. Well, your social insurance or Social Security would get $100 less. So you'd still make the same, but your check would be smaller, but you made the 100 over. I don't think it would be like, oh, you made 100 over, we're going to take $300 off here. I don't think it works that way. You know what I mean? I don't think it works that way. But what happens, and I've seen it, and this is, from personal thing that I've known somebody that does this, is they'll be working so many hours, but if they give them more hours during the week and they're going to make more money, they will call off a day of work. They will call in sick or call off that day. So that way that social insurance money, they don't make more and then lose it on there. There's people that are always going to try to exploit and work the system, but like I can't be for sure. I mean, there's only a couple in here that might even know, but not. Like if you make over whatever and they reduce it on the other side, is it the same amount? Like say you work your full-time job and you get the social insurance, so you make $3,000 for the month. Is it just flex between the one? If you make $100 or more, they take $100 off the other? I don't exactly know. But then again, they're getting dependent on that one. And maybe it's the mentality or their thought process. Why should I have to bust my ass to make even more to be at the same or something like that? Because they've already become dependent on that money. You guys both have really creative minds and creative thoughts, Ben and Robert. Kitsu, I'm not so sure about. I just wanted to say Kitsu's name. But yeah, once you become dependent on I don't get that mentality either, bud. Like that's the reason why I do Uber, right? The cost of living here is so high in that, but I work like 2 to 10:30. I work like a swing shift. Everybody works normal shifts like 9 to 5, so they can't really do anything after work because I'm at work, and when I get off, they're already asleep. And I'm not going to do anything in the morning. And then they have like Saturday, Sundays off. And I have like Tuesday, Wednesday off. So that doesn't really work very well, right? So I'm like, I can just drive and make some extra money. Uber does pretty good. Like if I bust my ass, I could probably squeeze out like $1,300 in a week. Yeah, it's not backed by anything, Robert. We just agree that it's worth X amount. Whatever it is. It's all because we give it the value. It's the same as like cryptocurrency. It's not worth anything, but you give it value, and that's what it is. I mean, because it is only paper. Now, it's not backed by gold. It hasn't been gold backed in a long time. But, I mean, that's how everything's always been, too. No matter what, whether we were trading buttons or, fucking seashells or whatever we were trading, it's only been an agreed amount of value. But that's fluid, too. It changes. Your $5 is $5, but $5 might buy this time, but $5 might buy something less next time or more. It's just agreed upon amount of what they perceive it to be. That's another thing too. Maybe I think stupid. Yeah. This is how I feel. A lot of people, they get these jobs, they're like, I'm underpaid, or, I don't make enough. Okay, so, like, I always use the example, and it might be wrong. So, like, Ben, if I say, hey, you want to do my dishes? I need you to wash, dry, and put them away. I'll give you $20. And you say, okay. Now, did I overpay you or did I underpay you? Given that scenario. Benjamin, I want you to wash, dry, and put away my dishes, and I'll give you $20. Did I overpay you or underpay you? I mean, I feel the correct answer is I didn't overpay you or underpaid you. I go, we accepted an agreed amount, right? See, so we agreed upon that. Now, these people that are saying that, they're underpaid, at like a fast food restaurant, right? At a fast food restaurant. If I say, look, I want you to flip burgers, and I offer you, I use easy numbers, and I offer you $10 an hour, and you accept it. I mean, are you underpaid or overpaid, or, you accepted it. Hey, I'm offering you to do this for this amount. Okay. It's an agreed upon amount. You don't have to do it. You can say no. And then I'll offer a job to somebody else. And if they say no, if enough people are telling me no, then I'm going to have to pay more, right? If I can't get somebody to do it for $10 an hour, and I try, and I'm not getting any leads, I'm going to try to put it to $11 an hour. If I get somebody on that, then I'll have them paid on there. I mean, China owns almost all of our debt. They buy up all our debt. The other thing I don't get, Robert and Benjamin both on those, this is the thing I don't get on, I was just talking about something. What was I talking about? Printing of money, banking cartel. Fuck, I forgot what I was talking about. Oh, this is what I was talking about, Ben and Robert. So, okay, so the economy was going good, right? It was going good or whatever. COVID hit. People weren't working. And for some reason, people aren't working. Businesses are shutting down, and they wanted to jack the price through the fucking roof on everything. They wanted they wanted more money. Like, look at the price of wood shot through the roof and all that, right? Now, this is my question. All these companies, like, say in California, they raised minimum wage. So McDonald's is, like, automating. So now they have the placard or the little kiosks and everything. They're automating everything. And all these other companies are automating everything. And they're laying off workers and laying off people and firing them. And more automation. And they still want to try to raise the price. But if they go to so much automation, there's going to be so much unemployment. How are people going to afford things? I feel like it's double-edged, right? If everything's going automation, there's less people working, then there's less money out there. So how are you going to make the money if you can't work because, automation? Maybe I'm just thinking wrong and you guys can correct it. That's the same, Robert. I mean, the currency and the cash is there, but, into a barter system, something's got to have value or whatever. I mean, you can work for stuff. But people are investing in gold, too. You see them, like, they're pulling out their money and investing in, like, gold trades or whatever, gold securities. But no matter how much gold you have on there, it's not like, those people convert your 401k into gold things or whatever. You can't go out there and pull out all your gold. They're not going to mail you, a pound and a half of gold worth of shit if you have that much money or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So even then, they're saying that, it's worth this and that. I mean, shouldn't the price of gold go down over time? They mine more of it, so more and more gold's coming around. So the supply is more plentiful. Is it wrong? Is my thought process wrong on that? Oh, and I'll let you guys in on a secret. I am not smart in any means. Yeah, but how is it changing when there's more of it? Yeah, I don't see. I'm not. I'll let you guys in. So growing up, my mom was friends with some people, and their kids weren't the best, right? They weren't the best behaved or whatever. So one of them sent their kids off to Job Corps, and they preached to my mom about how great it is. They're going to send them there. They're going to learn a trade and get their diploma and all this. So after I graduated 10th grade, my mom thought it'd be a good idea. So that summer, she signed me up for Job Corps and sent me off there to the one in Oregon. And I was going to learn carpentry. So when I got there, they're like, oh, we're going to go take these tests. So they had me go take these Scantron tests at Astoria Community College. And I took these Scantron tests, and then they're like, congratulations, you have a GED. So, 10th grade, that's what I had. I couldn't go back to school or anything like that. So I'm not very smart. A lot of stuff I've just, looked up online and learned. I taught myself streaming, so I don't know if you guys ever follow me on TikTok or any other platform where I live stream. I've taught myself audio and video. I do pretty well and stuff like that. But, I don't understand a lot of things. I just try to think of it in the simplest form. So I would just assume that if there's more gold, there would be less price in the gold. If there's more and more. That's way above me, Robert. I don't know how all that works. One thing I do know is, did you hear the lady in California? The lady in California, she's supposed to be the union for fast food workers or something like that. And she fought to get the $20 an hour or whatever. And then she's like, $20 an hour isn't enough. Did you hear she wants to try and push for $50 an hour for restaurant or for fast food workers? Did you hear about her? I don't know who she is. But I don't know what she thinks that's going to do. I mean, I'm not an economist, but I live in Seattle area, and a lot of cities have really high minimum wages over here. But if you're living in the city and you're making that money, you're not buying anything in the city. You're going outside of the city to the cheaper areas where the price is down, the housing is down, so you can afford it. But the people from outside can't come into the city because they're so underpaid, versus the other things. And now that the rent's gone up, they're like, oh, we need more money per hour. Well, your landlord goes, oh, they raised minimum wage, that means I can charge more for rent. And then your rent goes up. And then you're in the exact same spot that you were. I think. You're leaving, Robert? Thanks for hanging out, bud. Both of you guys. I know everybody views things differently, but I felt it was some good talking and stuff like there. I got to learn some things, and I'm pretty just simplistic. It's crazy how different drugs to economics. Yeah. I always like to learn and hear things. I'm not, like I said, I'm not very smart, but I learned some new things and different ideas. I feel in that, and I feel they just don't discuss anymore. People just don't discuss. Sometimes emotions get in there and it gets up, but there's always pluses and minuses and different viewpoints. It's like, sometimes there's no answer. They're like, what's the answer? Like, there can't be an answer. Because of this, because of that. Make sure you guys hit that sub button. I usually do a lot of gaming, but occasionally on here we'll do like Uber drives and other stuff like that as well. But like I said, we play some retro games, have some fun. Usually, this is my smallest community. TikTok's always just like blowing up. There's always tons of people in there talking, and really good supportive community on there. But each group has their own thing. I feel like it's good to have some variation in everything. Otherwise, just me, Kitsu, and Peppy Shrimp talking. That's it. Our loyal couple of people. It's a nice place to come and just like, just relax, have some conversation here instead of, the streaming life of, open-ended questions and talking to 50 people at once about, 10 different subjects and everything. I can just relax and chill and have some kind of conversation. We're all going in the same direction. For 48 minutes. Alright, I think I'll end it here. Got like an hour. Give my friend a call. Alright, I love you guys. Thank you all for hanging out and having fun. And maybe we'll do part 3 in a little bit. Alright, I love you all. Be safe.